Hi, I'm Jason Wilson, member of the Gray Town Council, and I'm going to do a brief video on the state of Gray. Pertains to the 2019 budget. A lot of citizens are concerned and they kind of wonder how we got to this state, what happened. So I'm going to try to do a 40-year history in about 5 minutes. So starting, what's with all the downtown village focus for economic development? Well, in the 1980s, there was a national downtown and village revitalization movement under the Reagan administration. In 2004, a second wave of state downtown village revitalization movement occurred under the Baldacci administration. And armed with those central planning initiatives, a strong political movement started and continues to this day. Gray had a water pollution problem in the late 70s, and resulted in the Superfund. The reaction was to increase the zoning. So we established 4-acre zoning, which blanketed Gray Village. Only 10% was allowed to be covered with buildings or be paved. The existing businesses couldn't grow and improve, and the zoning wasn't applied consistently. And some businesses, to adapt, one business formed a bar and a deli, which eventually became a biker hangout, and it burned down in the 80s. An example of this, Clark Block has dirt and gravel driveways, roads, and if you look today, we have innovative science and technology businesses in the village with gravel driveways, similar to the Clark Block picture of 1909. That inconsistency breeds uncertainty in the market of the village declines as a result of those inconsistencies. We actually had buildings that look like this in the center of Gray during this period of time. Central planning success? No, every classic New England or American downtown village business is no longer in the village. Hardware stores, pharmacy, grocery stores, bakeries, non-chain coffee shops, post offices moved out of the village. 3 classic restaurants and bakeries or coffee shops or combinations did open and close in this period of time. The Village Kitchen, the Loving Spoonful, they probably spark a memory of a few citizens. 4 factors in 2004. That was a pivotal year for Gray. So we had LD1, which capped the budget. We had comprehensive update plan. There was a impact fees politically was not viable, so that was going to help offset some of the cost of the anticipated possible residential growth. I mentioned the main revitalizations of downtowns, and we started our residential housing boom. We had 500 plus combined housing and dwelling units. Mill rate went from 9 to 18. So why did the comprehensive update plan fail to get adopted? A few comprehensive plan committee members understood the indicators of affordable housing make Gray a default affordable housing community. They understood in 2003 the link between the housing policy and schools, and to provide the proper resources for kids' education in Gray, you need to amp up the housing policy. The Brookings Institute study of 84,000 school districts came to the same conclusions about 10 years later. Essentially, land use policy is education policy. The committee members made an unpopular decision at the time not to drink the state mandated Kool-Aid. Got some criticism, and still to this day gets some criticism. However, it appears they made the correct decision. The residential impact outpaced the revenue stream. So you had a bedroom community form which kind of had an anti-business climate. They had a political demographic which had increased demands on the schools, town programs, and simultaneously there was intense pressure to have zero-based budgets. And simultaneously they voted to use the capital improvement fund, CIP, to pay for the demanded services or projects. State mandates pushed costs to town. We became an urban compact as our population increased from the residential boom, and the town became responsible for bridges and stormwaters, etc. Bottom line, it was a lot of money. So summary, the political demographic has simultaneously demanded services while constraining revenue generating entities. They demanded zero-based budgets. State mandates pushed costs to Gray. Zoning and allowed uses did not support the 38 years of centrally planned development for downtown. The Westerly bypass gets mentioned, but it was planned in the late 70s, discussed in the 90s, brought up in the comprehensive plan. It was too much of a political hot button issue that nobody really wanted to deal with it. The CIP savings got spent pretty much by voter approval, and the lack of tax revenue to pay for the requested lifestyle has an impact. So in 40 years, that's the brief summary of how we got to our current state in gray. I'm Jason Wilson. Thank you so much.